We're talking actors and directors who put on the shows.
We're talking playwrights and designers who you'll want to know.
From the very first rehearsal to the final curtain call.
We might be off Broadway, but we're talking about it all.
'Cause we're two local gals
With global pals, it's everything, everything, everything theater.
with Benita
And Ellen. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Everything Theater Podcast Backstage episode. I'm Ellen Cribbs.
And I'm Benita Zahn, and I'm drinking coffee.
It's that kind of episode.
Right, it's in the evening, and I can drink coffee and go to sleep. Can you?
Well, I don't drink caffeine. I don't drink coffee. It doesn't do anything for me. I don't get the perk that other people get. So I figure, why bother with it?
I like the taste. I could probably sing a coffee song for you, but I won't. It's all good. Anyway, it's fun to see you. It's fun to be doing stuff again. You know, we had a great show. Our last one, he was just fabulous, and I hope everybody got to see that. And we've got a great guest coming up, and we've got great questions to answer, and we're going to talk about Broadway shows. Oh, Break My Heart closing. So we got a lot going on, don't we?
We do. And I'll let everybody know that a show coming up in the 518. We are sponsored by Harbinger Theater to this episode, and they are doing a production of Andy and the Orphans going up September 22nd through October 1st at the Albany Barn. Here's a little synopsis. After the death of their 85-year-old father, 3 estranged siblings descend on Long Island Thanksgiving weekend to settle the estate and decide what is to be done with Andy, their adult brother who has lived his entire life in institutions with Down syndrome. A play with laughs, tears, and traffic. Come see the Capital Region premiere of Andy and the Orphans by Lindsay Ferrantino, Harbinger Theater at Albany Barn, September 22nd through October 1st. Free preview, September 21st. $15 tickets on Eventbrite. So check it out. This is, we love Patrick White, who is at the helm of Harbinger Theater, always does exciting new work in the area that is, you always end up talking about it on the ride home.
So I got a message from the folks at Curtain Call telling me that they've done that show.
Oh.
Yes, he saw, because we shared the information that it's a regional premiere. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. He goes, no, I just want to let you know. But I guess it's been so long that nobody remembers. But I'm going to give a shout out to Curtain Call, which is doing tiny homes right now.
Yes.
And JJ, that many folks, if you're local, know, and he is in the show, and I'm very much looking forward to getting over to see it.
Yeah, me too. I know a lot of friends in that cast, and they've all said it's one of the best shows they've ever done.
Yeah, like, wow, so excited. I'm going to talk about, while we talked about openings, going to talk about some closings also. Oh, and we should point out that Schenectady Light Opera is getting ready to open once. An ambitious endeavor that's looking like it's going to be fabulous. So that's another one to put on your calendar.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of changes happening on Broadway.
Oh, goodness, yes.
Yeah. I'm going to run out there. I'm doing a quick getaway for one day to go see Into the Woods, which luckily has been extended. I think they have a final ending date now, but
October 16 is what I'm seeing. I've got a whole list of them here. You know, it had a very short run. I don't know if I'm surprised or not, is the Kite Runner at the Helen Hayes, or the Hayes Theater. That goes till the 30th of October. You know, it opened, as I'm sure many of you know, it opened to very mixed reviews. But it seems that everyone I know, and maybe you too, and who saw it, loved it. You know, and the one closing very quickly, you know, it's Come From Away.
Oh, yeah.
That's closing on the 2nd. I got a whole list here. Dear Evan Hansen, you've seen that.
Oh, I love Dear Evan Hansen. Yeah.
That's Well, we're recording this on the 14th, and it's bye-bye, farewell on the 18th. And the big one, of course, is Music Man.
Yeah. Surprising.
Right, January 1. Well, Hugh Jackman's leaving.
Yeah.
And I suspect, don't you, that it was really a vehicle for him.
Yeah. It's kind of how we talked about Mr. Saturday Night, and once Billy Crystal left, what are you going to do with that show? So,
Right.
yeah.
Should point out also the piano lesson at the Barrymore calls it curtain down on the 15th of January. And Take Me Out goes till January 29th. And, that's been an interesting show. I think we talked about, of course, it deals with, there's full frontal nudity in it.
Mm-hmm.
And someone in the audience actually took pictures and posted them.
Yeah.
And that was, we talked about this and how incredibly wrong
Mm-hmm.
that was on every level.
Absolutely. Taking advantage of an actor, being vulnerable and doing this art piece and then just being exposed in that way is horrendous.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're going to get to see Into the Woods.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
very excited for that. And
yeah.
I read an article. I wonder if this would be a good backstage topic for down the line, because a lot of shows coming, such as Some Like It Hot, which is a movie that I love. I don't know how I feel about it being turned into a play, because that's how I feel about every movie turned into a play. But the question of, is it funny anymore to watch men dress as women in shows? And I think it's an interesting conversation,
That's
because we've
Tootsie.
seen that a lot. We've seen it with Tootsie, we've seen it with Mrs. Doubtfire, which are movies of an age, and we are in a different time where, you know, being more respectful of pronouns and gender identities is a bigger conversation, a very good conversation happening. So is that old theatrical ploy a outdated joke
I
now?
think that becomes the next question, Ellen.
Yeah, yeah. Food for thought.
So let us know what you think. That's what I'm going to have to think on. I really, I have no idea why anyone thought turning Some Like It Hot into a Broadway show was a good idea. However, and we've talked about this many times, that on the whole, the theater audiences are older.
Mm-hmm.
And is this an effort to attract that audience? Because, receipts are still down.
Mm-hmm.
So
Maybe. And it's interesting on the opposite side of that, I think trying to attract young crowds in with the whole movie turned musical. I know that The Devil Wears Prada opened in Chicago to very negative review.
yeah,
Yeah, so we'll see if
it
that's
wasn't a great movie.
yeah, I know. It's got a lot of love. It's an movie for me. It's fine.
It's
But
fine.
do
It was
we
a movie of a time, and it was snarky, and it was decent snark, but
and if you don't have Meryl Streep, you know, is it as charming?
right.
Yeah.
I just pardon me, it's allergy season, and when you try to not take your meds, it bites you in the kind of row. I wonder, you're getting down to the city. I don't know as I'm going to get to see. I'd love to see the Kite Runner. I was telling you before we started, I've got tickets to see Catch As Can at Playwrights Horizon. I love that theater. It's intimate, and there's a couple theaters in there. And it's just, it's lovely. But I don't know is out of the collection, I don't think I'm going to get a chance to see Into the Woods. I'm doing a show. I'm doing Assassins at Cahoe's Music Hall, and we run. Well, I know I won't, because we run. Actually, I won't get to see the Kite Runner either, because we run the last 3 weekends. We open the 13th, and we run through of October. We run through the end of the month.
Yeah.
So I suppose unless I got a Tuesday night. um, So yeah, a lot of stuff closing now, though. I suppose we could still get to Take Me Out and the piano lesson,
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, we had some good questions, some good answers.
We did. Yeah, we kind of talked last time about what people's warm-up routines are in the theater. Do people do them, and what are they? So, do you want to go? Do you
What
want
do
me?
you do, Ellen?
Oh, I always say I'm a lazy actor.
I don't think so.
I don't do much. I do a lot of work as an actor, but when it comes to warm-ups, I tend to just kind of come in the theater and make sure that my voice is okay, but I don't go through a strenuous, well, warm-ups routine shouldn't be strenuous, but I don't go through an exaggerated vocal warm-up or timely stretch or anything like that. I kind of just walk in, shake it off, and do the show. How about you?
If I'm doing a musical, I'll do, the vocal warm-ups,
Mhm.
by the numbers, some flubbing, run the scales up, run the scales down. Sometimes I'm in a show where we do it as a group, but other times, I'll just really make sure I've got my voice placed.
Mhm.
But I always will stretch out.
Yeah.
I just want to get limber. And if I'm really feeling nervous, an old one is to shake your hands as hard as you can. I
Mm.
would say, imagine you're shaking your fingers off and see the tension fly. And when you've really gotten rid of it, if you hold your hands up, they buzz, and I contend that's the good energy, and you bring it in.
Oh, I love that. I
And
will
that
say,
really,
yeah.
that
When I
helps to center me.
Yeah. When I work with kids a lot, I will do a shakedown. So, shake your right hand 10 times, left hand, foot, foot, and then you go 9, 9, 8, 8, all the way down to 1, and you go really fast. And that for me, I love doing that as a full cast, right
Yeah,
before, because it's just kind of, okay, we're here, we're energized, woo, let's
right,
go. It just
right.
wakes you up right away.
Does. But I really love, because your hands will buzz. And,
Hmm.
energy is neither created nor destroyed. And one of the acting teachers I had worked with, we talked about crafting our energy and molding it into something we could use.
Yeah.
It's a thing. So, anyhow, Brian says, I sit on the edge of the stage and breathe for a few minutes. Sometimes I listen to music of the hype persuasion, 90s hip hop, a la Hypnotized by Biggie. Chumbawamba is also
Chumbawamba,
Chumbawamba. I'm reading wrong. Chumbawamba is also a very good hype sound.
product of the 90s there. Yeah, I know a lot of people like certain music to get them in the mood.
Do you ever use music?
I don't, but it's very interesting to think of that.
I don't. I will sit backstage and be where I'm going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I will travel if I'm traveling. I think about years ago I did Crimes of the Heart,
Yeah.
and before I went out, I would sit backstage and I was on the bus. I was Meg,
Mm-hmm.
and I took the trip in every night on the bus
Yeah.
and saw a town. And then I was in the town where she wrote the play.
Mm-hmm.
That son of a gun, my mind was pretty good. It looked an awful lot like, but that's the kind of stuff when we do you do that ever, those exercises?
Yeah, I really love doing the backstory stuff and before walking at that moment before when you're in the wings and just getting into the mindset already of this is where I currently am. I'm walking the space with this information and this on my mind.
Right.
Helps a lot.
It does, and it's fun. I think we've talked about this. I mean, I don't smoke, despite the cough tonight. But when we did Always Patsy Cline, and I was Louise, in my mind, I was ironing clothes, and I ironed backstage. Listened to Patsy on the radio because she was performing already and smoking.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
So when I would walk out on stage, I could, you know how freshly ironed clothes has that warm smell?
Yeah.
I would take that with me, and the cigarette. It was smelly, we're hardwired for smell.
Yes, absolutely. I was thinking of all those senses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, I can see the smile on your face. You're there. Where else have you traveled in your mind before you walked out on stage, Helen?
Trying to think if I've got a really good example. Trying to think of probably the more dramatic roles I do as opposed to comedic, because I don't know, I feel like you're just kind of, it's a different mindset. I feel. But definitely, well, I remember doing Anne Frank and I was playing Meep, and every time going into that space of living the danger and walking through the town and making sure the Gestapo were not around, and the danger and the importance of making that entrance, and getting news to the family, and
Right.
that yeah, that
I
one was
think
always.
for folks who don't perform, and if they're watching good performers, it looks easy. It's like you're having fun, and you are, provided you do a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
In advance.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why I love table discussions, table talk, and with the director first thing. Yeah. It's my favorite part of the rehearsal process. Let's see, Patrick White, who's sponsoring this episode. Thank you, Patrick. Said, I like to shadow box in the corner and do Raging Bull's I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best. My favorite tongue twister is also Chris Foster's not the sixth sick sheik's sixth sheep is sick.
I'm not even going to try it here.
That one is hard. I will say I do have a favorite tongue twister. I don't know if you do, but
Yes.
when I went to, I studied at the Bristol Old Vic Theatre School in England, and they would have us do this every day. You do Peter Piper, but you put 3 P's before every P word. So it's Peter, Piper, picked, and so forth. And that one, that just gets your mouth moving. If I ever do a vocal exercise, that one's the one to get my diction going.
And for me, it's round and round the rugged rock, the ragged rascal ran.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I have an R problem. So it's a structural thing. So for me, doing R work, Kathleen says I do a physical warm-up, stretching usually to Duran Duran's Ordinary World. Then jump around and jog around the empty theater to Bruce Springsteen's concert version of Land of Hope and Dreams. My favorite vocal warm-up tongue twister I learned from a British director. She sat on the balcony, mimicking him hiccuping and amicably welcoming him in.
That's when we would do, that must be a British one, because we would do it, and we had a couple extra words. We would say, she sat at the balcony door, inexplicably mimicking him hiccuping and amicably welcoming him in. There you go.
You're right, yeah.
I haven't done my
I'll
warm-up
stick
yet.
it round and round the rugged rock, the ragged rascal ran.
Let's see. Patrick Quinn says, I sit in the car driving and singing If I Loved You or Take a Pair of Sparkling Eyes all the way to the theater, often with windows up. No, oh, sorry, windows open. Then I do some back bends and squats backstage. My favorite tongue twister is Peggy Babcock several times. It loosens the jaw muscles. I gotta say, I don't know that one.
Peggy Babcock. Well, then you could get in a lot of trouble with that one.
Yeah, you could. I'd say the shortest one that I like is girl gargoyle, boy gargoyle. And our voice teacher would always have us kind of sing it, girl gargoyle, boy gargoyle, girl gargoyle, boy gargoyle. It's just your brain starts to turn to mush after a little bit.
No, I kind of get that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there was another one I used in college, and it's totally escapes me now. So I just realized it would have been nice if I had the microphone. I bet it sounds a lot better now. Facing me, this whole, but now you hear me coughing. I have no idea what got me going. Before we started, I was sneezing.
Oh.
So something in the house, it's that time of the year. So, but all that said and done, lots of delightful stuff going on now in terms of local theater. I feel like I want you to pull up. I'll jump into. I'm sorry, I've hacked my way through this. Let me see if I can just jump in. Because Schenectady. I'm doing this. Oh, that's once. Oh, yes, I knew there was one more. The Sunshine Boys
Oh, yeah.
opened the 16th and it runs through the 25th.
Yes. And I was going to throw a shout out too to Albany Civic Theater's production of How I Learned to Drive. It's beautiful. Yes. It's a very hard show to watch, but it's done beautifully. Very minimalistic, and the performances are very genuine, very, very touching.
Why is it hard to do?
It's a show dealing with sexual abuse, pedophilia, misogyny, a lot of topics that are very triggering to an audience. So I actually attended the critique at Albany Civic, and that was the big conversation was, the audience's takeaway from the show, and was it being presented in a way that wasn't offensive, and what resources can we provide for the audience if someone does feel triggered watching it. So yeah,
I'll look forward to it. There's so much to go see now, so everybody needs to clear their schedules if they can, or move things around. So many people doing so many wonderful shows. If we've missed yours, let us know. You're welcome to buy the green room, but please let us know. And you've got one more hit for
Andy and the Orphans, exactly. So as a reminder, you can check it out for a free preview on the 21st, or the show actually runs the 22nd of September through October 1st at the Albany Barn. You can buy tickets on Eventbrite, and it's neat because there's actually 5 cast members who are new to Harbinger, and there's Tom Mooney who's in it. He's a 2-time Special Olympics gold medalist.
Really? In what?
In Andy and the Orphans.
No. But
And I see what you're asking.
Ellen?
It's late. I have not had a lot of sleep today.
What did he get what was he in the Olympics?
In the Olympics, yes. We'll have to find out. We will research that, and we will let you know in our next episode.
Oh, I like that. And I think we brought it home.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh,
so yeah, we have our guest next time, and then the following time, our next Backstage, we'll talk about the current trend in cross-dressing and whether that is still funny or not.
Yeah. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. All righty. Well, thanks everybody for listening. This has been delightful. A good way to end a long day.
Exactly. Thank you all for joining us and for playing along.
Yes.
And we'll look for you next time. And, let us know. If you're in something, let us know. And if you've seen something neat, let us know.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody. I'm Ellen Cribbs.
And I'm Benita Zahn. Take care.
Thank you so much for listening to the Everything Theater podcast. Special thanks goes out to Alice Grinling for our photography and Justin Friello for composing our amazing theme song. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to share your thoughts or what's going on in your theater community, you can reach out to us on social media or through our email at everythingtheaterpodcast@gmail.com. Till next time, it's everything, everything.